Did you know that some of the most common things older men do every day could be silently damaging their prostate? Experts who've worked with men in their late 50s to early 80s for decades agree on one painful truth. Most of the time, it's not genetics or fate that ruins prostate health. It's habit. It's the small daily decisions that seem harmless, until one day your body says otherwise. If you're a senior man, or you care about one, please listen closely. What I'm going to share in this video could save you from years of discomfort, sleepless nights, expensive medications, and serious procedures. As a prostate doctor, I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to plead with you. There are 5 specific habits I see over and over again in men who walk into my office. Men asking the same heartbreaking question. Why didn't someone tell me sooner? Today, I'm going to tell you not only what to stop doing, but why it matters and what to do instead. And as always, I'll keep it simple, practical, and human, because that's what matters most. If you've ever had concerns about prostate health, or even if you think you're doing just fine, stick with me. It's the things you ignore that cost you the most. Number 1. Holding back urine for too long. One of the worst things an older man can do to his prostate is also one of the most common: ignoring the urge to urinate and holding it in for long periods. Maybe you're watching a game, stuck in traffic, or just don't feel like getting up in the middle of the night. It seems harmless in the moment, but this habit puts tremendous pressure on the bladder and prostate over time. The prostate is a small gland, but when it's irritated by delayed emptying again and again, it starts to swell, tighten, and restrict flow. That's when the trouble begins. Many men assume frequent bathroom trips are just part of aging. But often, it's the way we treat those urges that leads to even more frequent problems. There's also a psychological layer that rarely gets discussed, especially among men raised to tough it out. I can't count how many times I've heard a man say, "I didn't want to be a bother," or "It's not that urgent, I'll go later." But by the time he finally does, the damage is already underway. When the bladder is forced to stretch and strain, the surrounding muscles weaken. So even when you finally go, it's harder to empty completely. What's left behind creates the perfect environment for infection, inflammation, and eventually bigger issues, like benign prostatic hyperplasia. Let me give you an example. Harold, a 74-year-old retired trucker, came to me with severe urgency and poor flow. For decades, he avoided restroom breaks during long hauls because they slowed him down. Now, even sitting through a family dinner without needing to rush to the restroom is a challenge. The regret in his eyes was real. Don't let that be your story. The fix is simple, but it starts with awareness. Go when you feel the urge, not 10 minutes later, not when it's convenient. Go when your body says it's time. It's one of the easiest and most powerful ways to protect your prostate, without ever taking a single pill. Number 2. Sitting for hours without moving. The second silent attack on your prostate comes from something you might be doing right now: sitting. Long hours in a chair, whether it's in front of the TV, behind a desk, or behind the wheel, cut off blood flow to the pelvic region and place direct pressure on the prostate. This daily compression, repeated over months and years, causes inflammation and stiffness around the gland. It's one of the hidden reasons many older men complain about that dull ache between their legs or that uncomfortable fullness that doesn't go away, even after they've emptied their bladder. You might be thinking, well, I walk a little each day. That should be enough, right? But it's not just about total movement. It's about the long, uninterrupted blocks of time you spend completely still. When you sit for over 30 minutes without standing, circulation slows and the tissues around your prostate don't get the oxygen they need. Inflammation builds gradually, almost without notice, until it's too late, and you're waking up 5 times a night or struggling with painful urination. There's also a deeper layer to this, one tied to lifestyle and identity. Many men in their 60s and 70s were raised to work hard, provide, and stay busy. But when retirement comes, the sudden shift to a slower pace leads to long hours of inactivity, often without them realizing it. The body needs a reason to keep blood flowing, muscles moving, and organs supported, and your prostate is no exception. If your daily routine has you parked in a chair for hours, it's time for a change. Not just for your back or your weight, but for your gland health too. Let me tell you about Dennis, a 68-year-old former accountant. After retiring, he found comfort in routine. Coffee in the morning, a newspaper, a few hours at his desk reading or managing finances, and afternoons in front of the television. Over time, though, he began to develop perianal discomfort and a slower urinary stream, all without understanding why. The solution? A simple change. Standing and stretching every 30 minutes. Adding just 2 brief walks a day. Within 2 months, his symptoms were cut by more than half. That's how effective it was. You don't need a gym. You don't need fancy equipment. Just stand up, walk around the house, shift your weight, do some light stretching. Break the habit of long, stagnant sitting. Your prostate will thank you. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights helpful, drop a number 2 in the comments below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I highly recommend you hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a video. Your support helps us keep making quality content that informs and inspires. Now, let's keep going.
Number 3.
Ignoring that subtle urge to pee. One of the biggest silent stresses on the prostate isn't your diet or even aging, it's delay. Holding in your urine too often may not sound serious, but it gradually trains your bladder and prostate into unhealthy patterns that are hard to undo. Each time you ignore the urge to go, pressure builds. Not just in your bladder, but against your prostate. And over time, that pressure becomes inflammation. This habit is especially common among men who are used to pushing through discomfort, those raised to finish the job before taking a break. It may feel harmless to wait 10 or 20 minutes, but when this becomes a routine, your prostate starts paying the price. You might not feel the consequences in your 60s, but by the time you hit your 70s, that repeated strain can contribute to BPH, benign prostatic hyperplasia, and make those nightly bathroom trips more frequent and more frustrating. Here's something crucial to understand. As we age, the bladder becomes less flexible and the prostate more sensitive to pressure. Holding it in too long creates the perfect setup for infection. Urine stagnates, bacteria multiply, and inflammation spreads. And here's the tricky part. This damage doesn't always come with obvious symptoms right away. That's why so many seniors brush it off until it's too late. You don't need burning or pain for damage to be happening underneath. Let me tell you about Walter, a 73-year-old former bus driver. For years, he got used to holding it in during long routes, and even in retirement, he barely noticed his body's cues. One day, he landed in the ER with a severe urinary tract infection and had to use a catheter for weeks. The doctors told him the habit of delaying urination played a major role. After that wake-up call, Walter made a point of listening to his body and going when he needed to. His symptoms didn't vanish overnight, but they stopped getting worse. The message here is simple. When your body whispers, don't wait for it to scream. If you feel the urge, go. Keep your system flowing. Keep the pressure low. Treat your bladder and prostate like the vital, sensitive organs they are. Small changes now prevent big regrets later.
Number 4.
Eating too much red meat too often. There's a long-standing belief that a good steak equals strength. And yes, red meat is rich in protein and iron. But here's the truth that most people, especially men in their 60s and beyond, don't like hearing when it comes to prostate health. Too much red meat, especially when grilled or processed, can quietly work against you. It's not about one burger, it's about a pattern, a habit, built week after week, month after month. Here's what happens inside your body when red meat is cooked at high temperatures. It forms compounds called heterocyclic amines. These substances, along with the saturated fats found in red and processed meats, are linked to increased inflammation in the prostate. Over time, it creates a perfect storm: inflammation, hormonal imbalance, and for some, a higher risk of developing aggressive prostate issues. Let's break it down simply. Red meat isn't poison, but moderation is key. Many older men were raised in a time when dinner meant meat and potatoes every night. That mindset is hard to shake, but your prostate doesn't care what era you grew up in. It responds to what you feed it. Too much saturated fat can trigger hormonal changes that fuel prostate tissue growth in the wrong way. I remember John, a 68-year-old retired contractor. Every Sunday was grill day, ribs, sausages, thick steaks. It was tradition. He felt fine, until a routine checkup revealed his PSA levels had spiked. His doctor gently urged him to switch things up: more fish, more vegetables, fewer flame-charred meats. He resisted at first, but within 6 months, his inflammation markers dropped, and his energy actually improved. So what does all this mean for you? Whether you're in your 50s, 60s, or beyond, it's never too early or too late to start protecting your prostate. These aren't complicated changes. They're small shifts in awareness and habit that stack up to major health benefits over time. Stand and move every half hour. Listen to your body when nature calls. Watch your meat intake and embrace variety in your diet. You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. You just need to take one step in the right direction and then another. Progress is made in the little decisions we repeat every day. And remember, this isn't just about avoiding discomfort or doctor visits. It's about protecting your energy, your freedom, your dignity, and your quality of life. Because good health isn't just about living longer, it's about living better. If you found this video valuable, comment number 3 below to let me know you stayed with me to the end. Your comments help me keep creating meaningful content. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and turning on notifications so you never miss a new video. Together,